Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Art of Writing Research Paper. Lecture number 9. In this lecture, we will try to see how a good research paper is written. What are the components that have to be an integral part of a research paper? Because as a researcher, you will have to write research paper on your own. Nobody else will write the paper for you. So, it should be known to you what are the desirable practices in good research paper writing. And unless and until you have an understanding of that, you will never be able to write a good research paper. An understanding of desirable practices in good research paper writing is a must. Comprehending what reviewers want, dispelling some major research paper writing myths, looking forward to research paper writing with greater confidence, getting motivated to write research papers and reviews. Although UGC has made a mandatory rule for every researcher to publish at least 2 research papers, I do not recommend that. You should write as many research papers which you can write from the work that you have done, not just restricting yourself to writing only 2 papers. Better understanding of the publishing system, because there are many points that have been highlighted in this first slide itself. It is not just about what are the desirable practices. What does the reviewer look for? Can the reviewer comprehend your paper? It should be written in a very simple language. No need to use flowery language, because this is not a paper of literature. If you are writing a scientific research paper, either pertaining to chemistry or physics or biology, you don't need to write flowery language at all. You have to just mention the facts as what they are in the simplest sentences, short sentences, where the reviewer can make meaning out of it. Then there are certain myths around research papers, that it should be written like this, then only the papers get accepted. It should be written like that, then only the paper will get accepted. That is not the case. Paper will be accepted on the basis of 3 factors. One is, what is the substance? What a researcher is trying to convey? Whether that objective has been dealt properly, and whether a conclusion has been drawn. If these 3 parameters are taken care of, then you have at least won the battle halfway. Writing in the first instance, it will be very disappointing, because the first draft is always the worst draft. But when you read it and you give it to your fellow researcher in the laboratory to read the paper, they will be able to point out what is missing in your. Of course, there is a format of a research paper, undoubtedly. But even when you have followed the research format, paper format, even then, sometimes it is not flowing in the right direction. It is not conveying a story. Research paper writing is like you start a story with a question and you end that story with an answer. That flow, that consistency of flow should be very apparent in a research paper. How to write a good research paper? Now, this is $1 million question, and every student must understand every word of this particular lecture when he has to sit down to write a research paper. Writing a compelling research paper is an art that combines structured thinking, rigorous methodology, and clear storytelling. So that is what I was emphasizing a while ago, that you start with a story, you have a question, you have a research question, then you show how you dealt with that question, and then what is the culmination of that dealing that you eventually concluded in the conclusion of the story or the research paper. Key steps include selecting a manageable topic, creating a strong thesis, and structuring with IMRAD. I stands for introduction, M stands for method, R stands for result, and D stands for discussion. And revising for clarity to highlight the study's novel contribution. Now, one thing is very important, that you have to highlight that what is your salient feature in your research. If you have missed out, then even if you have written the paper following the IMRAD, it is of no consequence, because you have not highlighted the study's novel contribution to the knowledge of science. And in the beginning, only I had told you that we do research to add new knowledge to the existing knowledge of science. That is the purpose of doing research. So that purpose is lost, and therefore one has to understand that this writing a paper is a completely different ball game than doing experiments. Experiments you do according to a method. Even writing the paper you do according to a method. It should have introduction, it should have methods and materials, it should have results and discussion and so on. But there is a kind of a storytelling. What others did, how your method is superior from their method, substantiating it with all the results that you have derived through experimentation and so on. Key elements of writing a good research paper. Key elements of research paper artistry. I will call it an artistry because it's an art. Structuring the story. View the paper as a story. The introduction provides the context. Methodology is your laboratory notebook, and results are the performance test. So this is how you are actually planning to write a story. It's not a literary story, it's a story of the work that you have done, but your objective, your research question is the starting point. The 3-move introduction. Establish the research territory, that is importance, find a niche, the gap, and occupy the niche, your research goals. So there are 3 objectives here. And first you have to find a an area which is in the present time very important. Then, in that important area of research, what all you have discovered through literature survey, the research gaps, and then how you were able to fill that research gap through your research goals is the 3-move introduction. So, when we write a paper, we say so and so did this, so and so did this, and we give lot of references, maybe 8, 10 references of other people's work. And that prompted us to look into this, and that is how you start your story. So then it makes a lot of sense in terms of its connectivity. And when there is connectivity in that storytelling, it flows very well. Clarity over complexity. Use clear, concise language to make findings accessible, using active voice wherever possible. Drafting and refining. Create a detailed outline first, then write in sections, focusing on novelty and importance of your findings. Because when you are drafting, this is the most crucial part. How to, make that story appear very, continuous and flowy. And therefore, you have to rewrite and refine again and again till you reach the last draft, which reads very efficiently. Effective title. Selection of the title should be directly stating the main contribution or novel method rather than just the topic to increase engagement. Because first thing that any reader does for anybody else's research paper is to read the title. If the title is very attractive and engaging, then the rest of the paper one likes to read automatically. There is no, afterthought, because when you see it's a very good title, you want to see what has he done or she done, because that itself has drawn your attention to see the rest of the paper. And so therefore the title has to be very effective. What are the points to avoid while writing a paper? Ignoring the audience. Consider whether readers or experts or beginners or tailor technical language accordingly. Because if you make it too literary, it is not good. If you make it too technical, even that is not good. Imagine that this paper is also meant for beginners and for, of course, experts. So accordingly, according to the audience, choose a language which is understood by one and all. Poor structure. The logical flow should move seamlessly from the research question to the conclusion. As I said, it's a story building. So when stories don't have an abrupt end, they end in a very conclusive manner. Similarly, a research paper also has to conclude in a very appropriate manner. Sometimes some researchers even give futuristic projection that this is what we have done this time and this is what we want to do furthermore on the same principle. It should not be a vague thesis. Ensure the thesis is specific, actionable, and debatable argument. So there should not be any ambiguity. Every word should have very good meaning and understanding. Otherwise, it is of no use, because nobody is going to read a paper which is very confusing, which doesn't have any storytelling. And if you are a good storyteller, you are a good writer also, because you know exactly where you started from. What was your research objective? What was your research question? What was the hypothesis that you wanted to prove? So that objective should be very clearly shown in the title. And then the storytelling begins from introduction, where you try to tell that these were the things done by others. This is the methodology that I have followed. These are the results that I have achieved through various techniques. And this is the discussion that I come to from the results that I have obtained. And so, whether or not I was able to get my objective, I can prove it in that paper by concluding it that it was to see the effect of the natural dye on the dye uptake, and rightly so, the dye uptake improved. So you are concluding that story, closing the circle, closing the loop by addressing it very carefully. What are the essentials of writing steps? When you sit down to write, of course, topic selection and preliminary research is the first and the foremost thing. Select a topic that aligns with the academic goals and in-depth investigation. Whatever research you are doing, you have anyway selected a topic, you have a research question, you have a research objective. So that part is more or less taken care of. Outlining. Create a roadmap that connects your ideas logically. You have to show that you have really meticulously planned your methodology as per the requirement of the research objective. Everything has to fall in place. That outlining or road mapping is very important. Then draft. Write the body. First write the introduction, methods, results and discussion. First then, and then the introduction you can write, because that is where the storytelling starts from. And finally, you will write the conclusion. Revising and editing. Focus on refining the argument, removing redundant sentences, and ensuring consistent tone. That means every time when you are telling this story, there should not be repeated sentences again and again. And just focus on the objective that you started with and whether you were able to attain that objective. And the flow should be in such a manner that it should appear like a story. Storytelling is also an art. First step is to choose the best topic of the research paper. And in your case, it is your research paper. First step is to choose the best topic of the research paper. Pre-writing, that is collection of resources on the chosen topic, take notes and create an outline. Then drafting, reviewing the notes and use their outline to create a rough draft of the report of the work done by others in the field of the chosen topic, organizing their work and writing to develop the chronology of development. That means in 2004, Wankar et al. Did this work. In 2007, James et al. Did this work. In 2009, somebody else did this. So it is in chronological order. That is what is meant by chronology. You organize other people's work, what they did one by one, and then finally you say, okay, but they did not attempt this. So we are focusing on what was left behind by them in order to see what is the effectivity. Then revising to focus on the content of the report to assess the readability of the written content. So when you read yourself, you will see that it is not sounding very smooth. So you will again revise it. Then edit. Focus on spelling, grammar, punctuation, including use of quotation marks, capitalization, and subject or verb agreement should be checked properly using proper tools for grammatical error correction. Nowadays, of course, we have Grammarly, which takes care of everything. We don't have to worry. Or if the spelling is wrong, it will pop up as a red underlined word. So immediately the researcher will know that it is having some mistake, and from the drop down he or she can correct the word. So these things are now more or less automated. Then reviewing, reading the prepared document to conduct a review process for self-assessment. Publishing, students celebrate their accomplishments and post their work on scholastics.com, and otherwise ideas for publishing their research papers are shared. So it can be on scholastic.com, but it can be on any, you can publish in any journal, provided you look at the author's guideline, because each journal has its own guideline. The referencing style can be different, or their way of formatting the paper could be different. So once you have followed that, once your story is ready, then you can always adapt to the publishing style depending on which journal you are willing to publish. Those who are pursuing research, writing a scientific research paper is an art as well as a sophisticated knowledge-based skill. Very few among the academia understand the finer nuances involved in writing a research paper which is publishable in high-quality refereed journals. A great deal of value is involved to publish in high-quality research paper. Writing a scientific research paper is an outcome of research investigation. So it is your work, and that work you are writing in the form of a report or a research paper. So that part, you're not writing anybody else's work. So you know exactly what you have done. And therefore, it becomes easier to build that story because you know your research question, you know your research objectives, you know your research hypothesis, and based on that, now you are writing this paper with those things in mind, and you have your results in hand, which you are using to write the paper, the methods, the results, and discussion. The need to write a research paper. What is the need? Some of the UG students are also interested in publishing the papers to get financial assistance for doing masters or PhD in foreign countries. A substantial research effort is involved in writing a scientific research paper by a large number of researchers and by industry experts. So there are many reasons why you need to write a research paper. Even UG students, that is undergraduate students, can also write a research paper provided they have done some research on their own. And this helps them to get funding to pursue their masters or PhD. Similarly, there are several researchers who do not know how to write a scientific research paper, with the result that a large number of papers are being rejected by the peer-reviewed quality journals. This, this lecture will help to fill this gap to some extent, that what to write, how to write, and where to publish. So let us understand the framework of research paper. Therefore, a detailed account of following should be topics of discussion. Types of research paper. It could be original research, it could be review, short communication, technical notes, or comments. Accordingly, the structure of the research paper will differ because the treatise is different. Structure of a research paper will have an abstract, which means an abridged version of what you are going to write in that whole story. What was your objective? Whether you were able to get that objective cleared, and what was the conclusion. This is the shortest form, which is called abstract. Then comes introduction, which is giving an introduction of what is the importance of this work, who all have worked in that area, and so on and so forth. Then comes your experimental and theoretical design, which includes methods and material. Following that is the results and discussion, and then followed by conclusion, and finally the references. The choice of topic, exact wording which would attract the readers, methods and models which will be used for the experiments or which were used for the experiments, analysis and empirical results, interpretation of the data. These are broad framework of a research paper. But there are certain limitations as well. In the framework, you have to mention what is the scope of future research, what is the referencing style. So if you have used EndNote software, a referencing style is a set of rules telling you how to acknowledge the thoughts, ideas, and works of others in a particular manner. Particularly, it comes in the introduction section. Referencing is a crucial part of successful academic writing to avoid plagiarism by means of paraphrasing. Types of journals that are available could be International Scientific Indexing, ISI, Science Citation Index, SCI, Science Citation Index Expanded, SCIE, Social Sciences Citation Index, SSCI, and other journals. Citation and H index we had looked up in one of the lectures in the past, but here we are going to talk about something different about citation and H index. You can have a Scopus citation index, which is that how many papers have been included in the Scopus. Or you can have a Google Scholar citation, and both have their H indexes different. The H index is an author level metric that attempts to measure both the productivity and citation impact of the publications of a scientist or a scholar. The index is based on the sets of scientists' most cited papers and the number of citations that they have received in other publications. Similarly, there is another index which is called I10 index, created by Google Scholar and used in Google's My Citation feature. I10 index is actually equal to the number of publication with at least 10 citations. So that's 10 stands. If your paper has been cited 10 times, then it will fall in the category of I-10 index. This very simple measure is only used by Google Scholar and is another way to help gauge the productivity of a scholar. In simple words, I-10 index is equal to the number of publications with at least 10 citations per paper. That means you have published a paper, and if 10 other people have cited that work, then you have an I-10 index for that paper. Now, this is how it appears in Google Scholar. I'm showing you this. This is my own index, but it is only tabulated up to 2025. Now the numbers are different. Nevertheless, it is not about what I have published and how much is my citation and what is my citation index, H index and I-10 index. What it means is that, what are these number meaning? The citation 5097 means that I have been cited by different researchers 5097 times. My H index, that means 38 is the H index. 38 such papers have been repeatedly cited, and 83 have more than 10 reference or citation per paper. And below, from 2018 to 2025, this is the graph of my citation of research work. So it is not to show or demonstrate what I have done. It is mainly to show you what these meanings mean. What are these numericals that mean or should mean to you and should be understood by you? Avoid copying others' work. It is very, very important, because now any and everybody can find out if it is copied work. There are many tools, Turnitin and many other. Grammarly also can find out if you have copied from any published text. So plagiarism is considered academic dishonesty and a breach of journalistic ethics. It is a subject of sanctions like penalties, suspension, and even expulsion. Recently, cases of extreme plagiarism have been identified in academia. The modern concept of plagiarism is definitely considered as immoral. So we will be spending one full lecture on plagiarism, how to avoid plagiarism, how to quote anybody's work and what is paraphrasing, etc. in a separate lecture. But as of now, you try to understand that copying other person's work is immoral, is wrong. Plagiarism is not in itself a crime, but can constitute copyright infringement. In academia and industry, it is a serious ethical offense. Thus, paraphrase is the solution. It is a restatement of the meaning of text or passage using other words. A paraphrase typically explains or clarifies the text that is being paraphrased. A paraphrase is typically more detailed than a summary. One should add the source at the end of the sentence. That means you should give the reference. Paraphrasing may attempt to preserve the essential meaning of the material being paraphrased. So the same thing The same idea, you are not writing verbatim. You are only taking that thought and writing in your own language. And that is correct. Because when you are quoting somebody's work, somewhere or the other, you have to mention that. So let us now come back to research paper format. A research paper is a meticulously structured document that showcases the outcomes of an inquiry, exploration, or scrutiny undertaken on a specific subject. It embodies a formal piece of academic prose that adds novel information, perspectives, and interpretations to a particular domain of study, typically authored by scholars, researchers, scientists, or students as part of their academic or professional pursuits. These papers adhere to a well-defined format. This research paper format encompasses an introduction, literature review, methodology, results, discussion, and conclusion. The flow sheet of a research paper is something like this. The introduction provides context and outlines the study's significance, while the literature review encapsulates existing research and situates the study within the broader academic discourse. The methodology section elucidates the research process, encompassing data collection and analysis techniques. Findings are represented in the results section, often complemented by graphical and statistical representation. Interpretation of findings, implications, and connection to existing knowledge transpire in the discussion section. So this is the flow chart. There is an introduction where you start building the story. Then there is a methodology section, materials and method, where you are telling what are the equipments you have used, what are the materials you have used, what is the process of analysis, what are the processes that you have used for analysis. Then comes the results section, where you discuss all the data that you have derived from your analysis. And then comes your finding and what these finding means, how the story has culminated into its final objective. That is what is explained in the discussion section. Academic and non-academic research paper. The treatise is a little different. Academic and non-academic research papers diverge across several dimensions. Academic papers are crafted for scholarly cycles to expand domain knowledge and theories. They maintain a formal objective tone and heavily rely on peer-reviewed sources for credibility. In contrast, the non-academic papers employ a more flexible writing style, target a broader audience, or specific practical goals. These papers might incorporate persuasive language, anecdotes, and various sources beyond academia. So that could be just a piece of literary writing also, but a scientific, note. So they are different. The audience is very important. Whether you are writing for academic community or you are writing for non-academic community, that matters. While academic papers rigorously adhere to structured formats and established citation cycles and styles. Non-academic papers prioritize practicality, adapting their structure and citation methods to suit the intended readership. So, it is very important that papers have to be designed according to what their actual motive is. You cannot write an academic paper for a non-academic audience, or a non-academic audience, a non-academic paper for an academic audience. So it has to suit who is going to read this, who is the potential reader, and accordingly the paper is designed for that format. There is a deep-rooted purpose of writing a research paper. It is not just because we need to get PhD degree, therefore there should be 2 research papers. Write anyway, copy, paste, do whatever you want to do and just publish. That is of no consequence. Let me tell you that purpose of writing a research paper actually revolves around offering fresh insights, knowledge and interpretation within a specific field. This formal document serves as a conduit for scholars, researchers, scientists, and students to communicate their investigative findings and actively contribute to the ongoing academic discourse. According to the research paper format, an outline for a research paper is a catalogue of essential topics, arguments, and evidences you intend to incorporate. The introduction of the research paper must address 3 fundamental inquiries: what, why, and how. Upon completing the introduction, the reader should clearly understand the paper's subject matter, its relevance, and the approach you will use to construct your arguments. So it's a very well defined, very well understood that if you are writing an introduction, you have to automatically ask this question to yourself: what is it that I want to write? Why is it that I want to write? And how is it that I want to write about my research finding? Writing a research paper represents your own interpretation, evaluation, or argument on a specific topic. It involves conducting extensive research and preparing a methodical analysis of your sources to articulate a compelling argument or present new insights. But learning how to write a research paper can be a daunting task for students. It's a tough task. It's not easy to write a research paper, at least for the first time. When you keep writing, then of course you get into that flow, you get into that mode, you get into that format is already there in your mind. You know this much you want to write for introduction. Initially you don't know where should the introduction end, where should my work start, can I connect the introduction with my work, and so on and so forth. So the process of writing a research paper begins with choosing a topic. Before then, conducting thorough research into that topic is a must. To structure your paper, you should familiarize yourself with a research paper format, which typically includes an introduction, literature review, methodology, findings, and conclusion. Choosing an appropriate topic, starting by aligning your own interest with the requirement of your assignment, a topic that facilitates or fascinates you in making a research process more engaging. It has to fascinate you. Unless it is, it's like a dream that you are having and you want to make that dream a reality. So that fascination is a must. Make sure that your topic is relevant to your field of study and consider its feasibility. For example, you can collect enough data and read enough information within the given time frame. You should also aim for originality. Seek an angle that offers fresh insights or a new perspective on established knowledge in your discipline. So, that novelty factor is very important. Unless and until it is novel to you, it will not attract the reader. And therefore, whatever is the novelty of your work should be very well highlighted. Conducting background research, what we call literature survey. To do some initial research to deepen your understanding on this topic, this initial research phase helps form a solid foundation of your paper, guiding your argument or thesis. It is also an opportunity to discover various perspectives and theories related to your topic. Utilize credible sources like online databases, academic journals, and books from your university library to ensure your research is accurate and reliable. Do not always rely on Google information or AI information. Sometimes it can be very misleading. And I'm telling you this from my experience because if you are taking any online database from any good academic journal, it is peer reviewed. There is no doubt about the authenticity. AI information, Google information are not authenticated always. If, of course, there is any link from any paper, then they show it on the site. There's a small mark which actually can connect you to the original paper. But if that mark is missing, then that information is a little doubtful. This kind of comprehensive background research is key to crafting a well-informed, insightful paper. Developing thesis statement. At the heart of writing a research paper is developing a robust thesis statement. A thesis statement represents the central argument of purpose of your paper, and this should be clear, concise, and specific. Your thesis statement guides the direction of your research, ensuring that every element of your paper aligns with the support this central idea. To craft a strong thesis statement, start by considering and condensing your main argument on observation into one or two sentences. It should not only state your position, but also give a hint of how you will be arguing in its favor. Think of it as the backbone of your paper, around which all the research and analysis revolve. Creating an outline. The next step is to create an outline. This helps to organize your thoughts and will make the drafting process easier. Begin by writing down main points you will cover in your introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusions. Your outline should reflect the logical flow of your argument, with each point leading smoothly to the next. That's what I meant by flow. That each one should lead to another, and it should be in consistence, in a flow. A well planned outline will both help keep your writing focused but also ensure you cover all necessary aspects of your topic. How to write a good research paper? Allow yourself enough time. Take time to develop the thesis, do research, distill the information, and write the paper. Profit from the process by learning more about the subject area and developing valuable skills. Second, define the scope of your essay and write a clear thesis statement. Check potential topics. Check the paper topics suggested by your professor. Choose a topic that interests you, since it will motivate you to do the paper and your enthusiasm for the subject area will be evident. The topic for this case study is solutions to the synoptic problem. Narrow down the topic. Focus is on the key elements of the topic by asking some very basic questions. Ask questions such as, what is a synoptic problem? What is the various solutions? What are the various solutions to the synoptic problem? Select one particular solution to this synoptic problem, such as the Greshbach hypothesis, the two gospel hypothesis, as the focus of your paper as an example. So this is an example that has been explained to you in order to select the key element in your topic. How to write a good paper? First, understand the assignment. Choose the topic. Gather preliminary research. Write a thesis statement. Determine supporting evidence, and then write the research paper outline. Don't just start with the outline and go in the reverse manner. It will be difficult to attain that. 10 qualities that define an exceptional research paper. Originality and innovation. Clear research objectives. Thorough literature review. Methodological rigor. Data analysis and interpretation. Clear and logical structure. Contribution to the field. Clarity of expression for an outstanding research paper. If you have all of this, then nothing like it. But even if you have 5 to 6 of this in your paper, then you have at least written a good research paper, if not an exceptional research paper. So, structure of a research paper means you have to have a title. This title includes, the title page includes title, author's name, and institutional affiliation. Then comes abstract, a concise summary of the paper, which we mentioned a while ago. Introduction provides the background information, states the research question, and outlines the paper's structure. Body contains the main content, including methodology, results, and discussion. Conclusion summarizes the main finding and their implications. Works cited or references, a list of all sources used in the paper. Tables and figures present data visually and should be numbered and captioned. So this is how the actual format of the paper is. You have to have a title, you have to have an abstract. Then some people also put after abstract keywords. If somebody wants to look for your paper, then what are the keywords which will drive them to that paper? And then comes introduction, then the body of the paper, which includes methods and materials, results and discussion, and that is called together as body. And then comes the conclusion. And finally, the references, the works that you have cited in your introduction or in the methodology section, if you have taken somebody else's methodology to apply for your system, and so on. Citation styles could be, you can follow MLA style, which uses the text citation with author's name, last name, and page number, and a full entry in the work cited page. APA citation style is slightly different. It uses text citation with author's last name and year of publication. In one case, it is author's last name and page number. In the other case, it is author's last name and year of publication and a full entry in the reference page. Chicago or Turabian citation style uses footnotes and endnotes for citation. The IEEE style is slightly different. It uses numerical citation with the corresponding entry into the reference list. So these are various methods by which the citations are written in the reference section of a research paper. So research process steps are: step number 1, identify the problem. Step number 2 is evaluate the literature, that is, do a thorough literature survey. Step 3 is create hypothesis and objectives. Step 4 is research design. How do you want to conduct your research? Like a blueprint, as I mentioned in one of the earlier lectures, that just the way when building is made, a blueprint is first made of the building. And then the building is constructed based on that blueprint. So research design is like a blueprint of research. Step 5, describe population. Whom are you writing this paper for? For your fellow researchers? Then step 6 is data collection. Step 7 is data analysis. Data collection is how you analyze your methods and methodology, what all you have done to get some data which can actually conclusively say that yes, your objective has been attained. Step 7 is data analysis, and step 8 is report writing. In this, you have to understand that all the steps are very, very important. You cannot forego any one of these steps by just looking at it and thinking that yes, I can forego the literature. Literature, you will not know where is the gap. What is being done, what is to be now, what to approach. For my research design, what I have selected a gap which I can now feel that I have a better understanding of the subject and I can do that research on my own. So unless and until that happens, it is not possible to, if you don't follow the research process steps like this way, report writing will be impossible. Writing a report means writing a research paper. All of these steps are equally important and are equally, significant and play their crucial role. It is not that you can jump and come from identifying a problem to report writing and you omit all the step number 2 to 7. That you cannot do because each has its own significance. So to conclude, I will say that writing a good research paper is a meticulous and structured process that involves critical thinking, thorough investigation, and clear communication. A well-crafted research paper not only represents original findings but also builds upon existing knowledge in a coherent and meaningful way. Success in writing research paper comes from a strong foundation in planning, a clearly defined research question or hypothesis, logical organization of content, rigorous analysis, proper citation of sources, and adherence to academic standards. Ultimately, a good research paper should contribute valuable insights to its field and be presented in a manner that is both accessible and academically sound. People should be able to understand your research paper. Other than that, it is of no consequence. So with this, we have come to an end of this lecture based on art of writing a research paper. Thank you.